Hey YouTube, coming at you with a viewer submitted battle from SD Bands Abbott. So thank you for the submission, and thank you for the submission with Ninetales. As soon as I saw the team, I'm like, Lanturn, Ninetales, Medi. Yeah, I like this. It does have some weaknesses because I was just actually thinking about it when I was like looking at the moveset and team. It's like, well, like Lanturn and Ninetales are gonna have problems with like Dragon type Pokemon, because like electric, water, and fire are all resisted. Spark Lantern against Swampert is kind of a tricky matchup now that they upped how long it takes to get to Surf. So there is a bit of problems, but you can work through them. Like all three are super strong Pokemon. Obviously, Lantern and Medi are stronger than K9 right now, unfortunately. Maybe not next season. We'll see. But let's look at some battles, and yeah, we'll do what we normally do. Showcast and analyze in one. Golisopod, so this is a good lead, weak to electric. So they stay in. Defense Deoxys. So let's see where we're going to go. We're going straight Thunderbolt. Defense Deoxys don't usually shield, so it's not... Okay, well, what do I know? Gonna have to take Thunderbolt probably. Going to eventually get out into Ninetales. This is fine. The fact that it's Thunderbolt, you still may need to shield. Ninetales is glassy, yeah. Ninetales is pretty glassy, and I think you want to try and keep Switch as much as you can. Nice farm up to the Weather Ball there. You chipped enough that this should probably KO. Yep. And you'll get a move off here, which is nice. This is a good chip before they get the liquidation off. They're just going to go with whatever's in the back, which I think is kind of their only option at this point, knowing that the Lanturn is just going to very, very easily beat this. So yeah, let it go. I would okay. Interesting. So I guess my question is, your switch timer was like up, and you had Lanturn on it, and you know that they have liquidation at, and then probably some sort of like Xers and stuff. So I'm wondering why you came in and throw resisted counters into this when they're doing super effective Shadow Claws and are now getting to a move which will chip a bunch too. It is an Umbreon in the back, and this is where Dynamic Punch would be very nice. And that's the thing, like on a read like this, so they are weak to counter in the back, and you're very, you have a counter answer. So Defense Deoxys is an amazing save swap, but it's not a bad save swap in this meta. Not that Lanturn has a bad matchup against Umbreon, it's kind of like just like neutral-ish. But if they have a bug in the front, bug is weak to what? Flying. It's weak to an electric, and it's weak to flying. So I'm trying to think what they would have to have in the back. I'm just surprised you didn't keep the Spark Lanturn on the super effective there and taken resisted. But in the end, it does not look like it's going to matter at all. So okay, Swampert. This is what one of the things I want to see. So this matchup, you're obviously playing from behind because Sparks are resisted. You can only throw the Surfs, and it's a non-shadow. Interesting. So I was supposed to say you're giving up if they have. Okay, it's not that they automatically have an answer for Medi. I was wondering whether you're just gonna play it out or switch. And the problem with this team, not that Medi's a bad save swap by any means necessary. The problem is though, if you use Medi as a save swap and you get punished, there's Pokemon that can just kind of beat Lanturn Ninetales. Swampert being one of them. I guess I should have looked at all the games. We're gonna lag out of this game? Okay. There's a problem. So when people send me battles, I just like put them all. I don't watch them ahead of time. I put them in, and I see like the last like 2 seconds of the matchup, just to see if it's a win or loss. But we will just skip that matchup. Okay. Medi, Lanturn. In this matchup, you can basically just go Surf. Yeah, I think it's worth the first shield. It's a risky bait on their end if they bait like an Ice Punch. I don't think you need to go Thunderbolt. I think you win with the buff just going Surf, right? Because now this is like a Surf is overkill at this point. I think the right play is Spark Surf combo. Giving up Switch. So you give up Switch a lot. I think unnecessarily at times. The only reason you really should start this is lesson time. If you're playing a team like this, the only reason you should really give up Switch is if you see like a grass or like a super hard Abomasnow. I guess Abomasnow is half grass. Like a grass or a dragon or something that you just have no matchup against, and then you go into your Medi. Medi is risky. It's not risky as a say swap because it's overall so strong, but there's so many Pokemon that are like just hunt, like people that are just hunting Medi because Medi's everywhere, right? So people are hunting it. So to willingly give up a neutralish / good lead to then get something on your Medi that's going to cause you problems just seems like a very, not just risky, but not like just a smart play, right? If you're going to create any sort of teams, the only reason you are going to safe swap in a neutral matchup is if you're running like an ABB style team where you need to try and draw out something. Like I'll just use Grass Hole. If you have like a Bastiodon, grass, double grass in the back, you try and draw out like a fire so that the Bastiodon beats it, and then your other grass roams free, right? There's no reason to give up the Medi here. So let's see what happens. So you get to an Ice Punch. The non-shadow versus non-shadow probably helps you here. But I forgot how fast their switch was because they could probably just farm down now. Yeah. Shield and farm if I were them. They let it go. Okay. I guess they're thinking they were drawing dead against Lanturn. They're going to come and counter down now. They're going to have some energy coming out, so they're going to be able to throw out anything that you come in with. So you're just going to have to sacrifice this. And just hope Ninetales can beat whatever's in the back. And you're lucky that it can just absolutely destroy what's in the back here. Like, shield the drill run. But again, it just seems like a very unnecessary risk to leave that neutral matchup. And that's the second time that I saw that. So this is all right. The opponent's getting a bit of lag or just visual glitch because they're already out of move. You'll live the Dragon Claw, but yeah, it's not a bad idea. They go up into Lickitung. Going for the Thunderbolts. In terms of... Let me actually stop it there. I know for the most part... I know Thunderbolt's the harder hitting move. In terms of damage per energy, I think... Is Surf the better move or is Thunderbolt? I think Surf is the better move. Okay, so Surf is a 40 energy. They both get stabbed, so we can just ignore that. Same type attack bonus. Surf is a 40 energy, 65 damage for a 1.62 damage per energy. And Thunderbolt, okay, it's the same. 50, it's the same damage per energy. 55 over 90 for 163. Okay, that is fine then. You can go, and if that's the case, I actually did not know that it was like identical damage per energy. So because it's identical damage per energy, I actually don't hate going Thunderbolt in this matchup because against these tanky Pokemon, it's what I said in the first game. I don't expect Defense Deoxys to shield. Usually these bulky Pokemon, Lickitung, Defense Deoxys, stuff like that, they're there to absorb damage. So if you're only going to land one move, just getting the Thunderbolt off is not a bad idea. The only thing I was a bit surprised by is I would agree with this move if your Medi was not running Dynamic Punch. But it is running Dynamic Punch. Dynamic Punch plus counter is going to just basically delete Lickitung. It's such a good matchup. If it was counter Psychic, it's a little more iffy, especially being down a shield. But since it's counter Dynamic Punch, I probably would have made that switch sooner. That being said, with the Thunderbolts, you can probably now just commit to the farm down. The thing is, they will still get a couple body slams off though, right? And these are going to start with the super effective licks start to add up. So you may still need to, you'll be low when you come out of this, right? So that's why I'm surprised that yes, in theory, the move works, but in practice, you jumped all your energy, and now you threw a resisted Ice Punch. I'm guessing that was just like worried that you were going to get farmed down. Obviously, I'm assuming that you know that is not the right move. And right now you have a Dragon against this. You have Ninetales, which is useless against their Lanturn. Their Lanturn has a huge advantage. This game's basically, they have a shield advantage. They're going to farm. Yeah, this game's over. So I think the misplays here are, I don't mind staying in against the Lanturn versus Dragonite because that's a decent matchup. If the Lickitung, I think you need to come in Medi immediately with that Dynamic Punch. Counter Dynamic Punch is more than sufficient to take that out. And then you're done here because they're going to get to, yeah. Okay, Sableye, Neutralist Lead. Again, you should not be leading into Ninetales or anything. This is just stay in this matchup. It's kind of a whatever matchup. I think Surf is the right play here because one Thunderbolt probably won't take it out, so you probably need two Surfs anyways. They shield. Now with these additional Sparks, I think it's probably Thunderbolt range if you want to go that route. They're going to go back to back foul plays here. That's fine. I would take this one. Yeah, because now, and they tried to catch, so good heads up on not throwing. The only problem with this is, I wasn't counting, but they should be able to get to a Sludge Bomb, but I was not counting, and I was going to say that seemed one short of that. So that was a weird play. If they go up to that Sludge, they grab a shield for you. I don't know why they Sludge Bomb. I don't know why they decided not. Just good counting on your part. They should have went with a Sludge Bomb to at least fake it, even if they didn't have it. Now you get this off, get the full farm down, we're going to move off on this back Pokemon. It is an A Sandslash with a Medicham. Okay, so this game's over. This game could have been, I was about to say, could it be a little closer? Because then Medi would just dominate this anyways. Okay, again with a Swampert. And let's see if you played the exact same way. Okay, you'll get the Surf off the first. And that's the thing. If you, I know it's a bait game here with the Earthquakes, and you're going to go, and again, you're going to get punished with the Sky. And this, I don't think you can do this. Because now you have your Lanturn. Maybe your Lanturn will get some Spark advantage on, it's not a Snarl, so you'll resist the moves. But now you have Medi against Lanturn and Ninetales. And they have some energy coming out of this. Can they get to a move? Yeah, so now they're going to chip you and still have alignment. Not that it'll matter too much because they still sort of need the Earthquake. But now it's actually more bait game. Like, they're at an Earthquake. You're going to let it go? No, you're going to call it. But now, see, now you're low enough that it is bait gameable. So I think you just have to stay in with Lanturn. It's such a risk to give up switch here. They'll definitely get to an Earthquake. And at this point, they don't need to get to an Earthquake. Hydro will not take out, but it'll put you in the deep end. They can farm down and come out with energy if they want. Or they land this. They're going to be able to grab another move here, and just this game's over. So one, I don't know if you want to run Lanturn and Ninetales on the same team, unfortunately, the way the meta is right now. Two, you can't just keep giving up switch and having one of your best answers. My opinion would be to just soft lose the Lanturn lead against Swampert, then come in Medi once you're there, and then adjust your game from there. And you can't. Okay. It's one thing to do it in neutral matchups. It's another thing to do it when they have a Sandslash on the lead. Because if they have a Sandslash on the lead, only an idiot would not build against a Medi in the back line, right? There's no way if I have a Sandslash lead that I do not have one, probably two answers for Medi on my team. So the fact that you just like willingly went in, like had an okayish lead and then went into Medi here is just like easy for the opponent to come in with an answer. Luckily their answer is a flyer that is also weak to Psychic. Did you build up to a Psychic there? You have to let it go. Shadow Ball will one shot. You can come in and spark a bunch, so you'll come out with like multiple Surfs, which is fine, but they can maybe still get to a that's probably just a Poison Fang. Not that it matters because, well, yeah, actually it does matter now because now you're 100% in drill run range. You'll have multiple moves though, which is nice. But you are in drill run range now. So you got to shield this. You'll get a couple surfs off, which is nice. And then you have to see what's in the back. That is worth sniping. That I will say is worth sniping. Okay, you're gonna luck out here. I think that is the only play that is sort of worth sniping in my opinion. They let it go, but it doesn't matter. Now you can just spark down. Let it go and just spark down and shield. I still don't think that you should give up the lead like that. It worked out, but it could easily have not worked out. Push your opponent. I don't know if I love how they played it either. Okay, Gligar. Tricky, especially with the spark, but it's kind of close. Dig. They're going to give up. Come in, Medi. Again, this is one of those where you don't need to do this. Unless you're just going to counter down and come out with 2 ice punches. But you have to still take a move, and it could be a power whip. They'll get 2 body slams off for sure. Maybe even a third because they are loaded. Yeah, so you have to shield, but now you're vulnerable to the aerial ace. You will have multiple ice punches, but they're going to put you in wing attack aerial ace range. So yes, you'll have 2 ice punches. They have shield advantage. You'll get 1 ice punch off here, and they didn't get a wing attack through because that mechanic is always messed up for some reason. But there you are, right? So now they got full health. You'll get another one off, but now you're down to 0 shields, which is a very risky situation to be in. I know what you're thinking because you have some energy on Lanturn that you got to try and snipe. Yeah, I agree with the snipe there because then Ninetales can kind of deal with this in the back. Worst case scenario, if they get out of here, they'll get a dig. I don't think a dig from a non-shadow takes it out from this range though. No, and so if they don't get out, you'll get to another move. Again, Ninetales on this is be good. The only issue is if they farm down all the way because they can live another one. If they're smart, they farm down. If they're stupid, they throw there and then just cost themselves the game. They're really only their win condition, considering they still have the health left on that, was to farm. They actually still may be able to blast you full range here. No, not quite. And now you can farm down and come out with a move. Yeah, I think their only win condition was to basically farm down and come out with like not 2 moves, but like 1 and a bit move. Hopefully get the lower the attack and then get to the next move before you took them out there, but they kind of misplayed that. Okay, this is tricky if they... I guess you have 2 answers in the back to this. Yeah, with the sparks resisted and 2 answers in the back to this, I don't hate this. This is a swap I don't hate. So dynamic punch is obviously the way to go here. There's no point in baiting. Lowered the attack. Dynamic punch is the way better move. You're going to try and flip switch here. Again, it's a risky bait, but I think this is one that's going to pay off. Yeah, I figured that one would pay off because they were just going to match shields. Because I would match shields in that scenario too. To try and keep switch. I think because they're water gun and you are spark, the right play is to not throw anything and just spark down so you come out with like almost 2 surfs. So just commit to the full spark down. Yep. I throw 1 spark and then a surf. If the Steelix comes back in. But they decide to go Medi. And again, you're going straight Thunderbolt, which I think is probably right in the first scenario here because no sparks have landed. And now you have a second answer for this. You can let the first one go for sure. Commit to the full farm. Yep. Throw right away. Between this chip and the second weather ball you're going to get to and the surf, this game is over. Yeah, so if you're going to have like resisted sparks in a not good matchup, then yes, it is worth getting out of. But in any sort of neutral matchup, especially when that neutral matchup is like Swampert and like Ninetales has no shot against it, that's the one you have to stay in with. But thanks for the battles. Always fun to showcase Ninetales. And yeah, that's it. So I'm going through in order of what I received on Google Drive from below. Link in the description if you want to submit battles. That being said, there's no point of submitting battles right now because I have there's like 14 or 15 submissions, and there's like 4 days left in the season. And with with season turnover and new moves, there's a possibility that all the videos that are now in my submissions are going to be useless if the meta changes and moveset change. It's tough to if Medi gets like Psychic Nerf or something gets boosted, it's tough to showcase old battles if it has those Pokemon or the meta has changed. So I'll try and get through as many of those as I can. Plus I got a bunch of mine. Plus it's tough to build all those when the news is going to drop, and that's got to be a video. So I doubt I'm going to get through all of them, but we'll see what I can do. Anyways, that is it. Thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one.